This is the anime where the main character literally gets stronger by kissing his wives. Yeah, welcome to Rings of Power, Harem Edition. Season 1 gave us isekai chaos, 5 ring princesses, accidental intimacy power-ups, and a dude who went from average high schooler to love-powered demon slayer. Every kiss unlocked magic. Every emotional bond boosted stats. And somehow it was both wholesome and wildly unhinged. But Season 2, the fan service gets riskier, the jealousy gets real, and the biggest twist, the first Ring King, the hero, wasn't a hero at all. He became the Abyss King. Now Sato isn't just fighting monsters, he's fighting the possibility that love itself could corrupt him. And if he loses control, this harem turns into a horror story. Let's get into it. Season 2 kicks off when Morion, Haime's younger sister, shows up, totally catching Sato off guard. Bro looks like he just saw a boss fight he wasn't ready for. He didn't expect to see her at all. She jumps right in with some playful jabs about how many princesses' hearts he's trying to win over, especially with the ring princesses all around him. And honestly, even she's confused how this average guy built a whole royal harem with zero game. Alabaster quickly reminds her about what she's sitting on, and she realizes it just in time, nearly stumbling over. Sato instinctively catches her, and they end up in a super awkward fall that leaves them both embarrassed, especially since Haime rushes over to check on them. Of course, he falls into another girl. Bro collects princesses like side quests, but still acts like he's never talked to a woman before. There's definitely some tension between the sisters since they haven't seen each other in over a decade, but Morion acts like it's no big deal, unlike Sato, who's probably panicking internally trying not to unlock another accidental romance route. Soon, it becomes clear why she's really here. To take down the Abyss King, all the queens need to fully awaken their powers. Magic is a huge part of that, and she's been training hard since Haime left their world. Meanwhile, Sato's biggest training arc is still figuring out where to stand during serious conversations. Now, she's here to help everyone learn how to use magic through their rings. Some people feel ready for it while others look a bit unsure. Granart pipes up saying she's a swordswoman and doesn't need magic. A few others admit they can barely use it at all. Hime looks like she'll be the first one to start the training. Not Sato, of course, because bro is just here for emotional support and accidental hugs. While the rest of the brides relax in the hot springs, Hime is struggling big time. No matter how hard she tries, she can't tap into her magic. She pushes herself so hard that she nearly ends up in tears. Sato tries to comfort her, telling her not to force it, which is ironic coming from someone who's been forcing his way into every princess's life without even trying. Still, this is probably the most useful thing he's done so far. That's when Morion jumps in and shows her something key. Magic isn't just about raw power, it's about flow. She helps Haime feel that there's already potential inside her, something Sato is still waiting to discover within himself. Meanwhile, Amber and Granart are sparring. Amber mixes in some magic during her fight, while Granart sticks to her sword. She's determined not to rely on magic, but after barely making it through the spar, she starts to question that mindset. Even Granart is evolving mid-fight, while Sato is still stuck on beginner difficulty with tutorial-level awareness. Back with Haime, Morion throws out an unexpected question about how many times the two of them have kissed. When Sato awkwardly answers, probably counting on his fingers like it's a math problem, she insists they try kissing again right in front of her. It's super embarrassing. But when they finally kiss, something changes. Haime's emotional connection sparks her magic, and she successfully casts a spell for the first time. Everyone is shocked, not at the magic, but at the fact that Sato actually contributed to something for once. Alabaster then dives into their past, revealing how, 10 years ago, during the attack from the Abyss King, Haime's parents fought bravely and sacrificed their lives to protect everyone, leaving Hime in Alabaster's care. Hearing this lights a fire in her. She promises to get stronger. Meanwhile, Sato hears all this and is probably thinking, yeah, I'll just stand here and try not to mess things up. Morion explains that the Ring King's power grows through emotional connections. Nefretis jumps at the chance to test that out. Eventually, Granart steps up too, determined not to be left behind. Everyone is pushing forward, except Sato, who's already maxed out in the emotional support NPC category. With the training kicking off, the group decides on their next stop, the Elves' Library, where they can find ancient weapons and advanced magic training. But when they head out, they end up traveling by cart, just like regular folks. No royal treatment, just vibes. And Sato sitting there like he's on a school trip instead of a world-saving mission. During the ride, Hime senses that monsters are lurking nearby. As they prepare to fight, something weird happens to Sato. A dark mark appears on his skin. Amber figures it might be leftover abyss power from his last showdown with the Abyss King. Granart tries to fend everyone off but gets overwhelmed. In the end, Amber and Morion take care of the monsters, and Haime uses her light magic to suppress that dark mark. So once again, everyone else fights, and Sato just stands there being the problem and the solution at the same time. That night, the group talks about the concern that Sato could be corrupted. He insists he's okay, which is exactly what someone about to become a villain would say. The worry hangs in the air. Hime promises she'll protect him no matter what, because clearly he can't protect himself. Later, in a super awkward moment, they try to chat about family planning and being close. Morion notices how stiff and shy they are, making it pretty obvious they've still got some work to do. Eventually, they make it to the elf city of Ramka, where Nefertiti meets up with her quirky brother. Thanks to him, they get into the Great Library, a place that's only accessible under super rare circumstances. Inside, they come face to face with the ancient elf queen, who spills some intriguing secrets. She turns out to be the first elf ring princess. In the library, she shows them a preserved record about the first Ring King, a legend that paints him as a hero battling the abyss to save the world. But the reality is way darker. He's got tons of power and wields this amazing light magic, but his strength is tied to his close relationships with his 5 wives. Over time, he gets totally consumed by power and desire, leaving the princesses emotionally drained. In the end, they have to step in to stop him themselves. Before he crumbles, he puts a curse on them, saying their descendants will never know peace as long as the abyss is around. But the human light princess genuinely loves him, and he softens the curse out of love. Her future husband will be the next Ring King and will eventually take down the Abyss King. That future husband? Haime, and he's her husband. The old elf queen warns Haime that the spirit of the first Ring King is still hanging out in the ring. Soon enough, he starts hearing a voice from it. The first Ring King claims he's just a bit of regret, a leftover from past mistakes. He offers some advice but warns that he might not totally figure everything out before he's gone. Determined, Haime heads higher into the library. At the top, he finds a sealed chamber. To get it open, he's got to use some powerful magic. When he finally breaks through, the Elf Queen reveals that it holds a way to boost the Ring King's power big time. The implication is clear. His strength will grow through deeper connections with the princesses. The vibe shifts to something a bit awkward but focused as they each get ready to strengthen their bond with him. He's sitting there, feeling all kinds of nervous, thinking the girls will come see him one by one. He figures Amber will be the first, but things take an unexpected turn. Out of nowhere, it's Amber who walks in first. He's totally caught off guard. From everything that's happened so far, he didn't see this coming. She calmly tells him she knows all about human intimacy and reproduction, and her straightforwardness hits him hard. He shyly tells her she's cute, but he's just not ready to take things any further. She takes it in stride, saying she only wants to check in on her functions and reminds him that she's there for him. After that, she leaves, and oddly enough, he feels relieved. Then Sapphire walks in, and she's a whole different vibe. She struts in with confidence and tells him he can do whatever he wants with her. To her surprise, he tells her he's just not in the mood. She's taken aback and starts questioning if he's okay. She quickly reminds him that she's his wife and is totally capable. He awkwardly admits she feels too young to him. She insists she's not a child and knows exactly what her roles are as his wife and a princess. Then out of the blue, she admits she's not 100% ready either. She suggests he's probably overwhelmed because he has too many options. Before heading out, she tells him to figure out what feels right. Once she's outside, her composed act falls apart, and she vents her frustration. Next up is Nefertiti. She sneaks in quietly and asks if she can sit closer. When he says yes, she opens up about how being near him makes her feel warm and happy. Even if he doesn't prioritize her, he's still number one in her heart. She doesn't demand anything, just asks him to care for her a bit more than before. As he starts to respond, she gently stops him. She mentions she promised no recklessness, but then she decides to break that promise by leaning in and kissing him, sharing a sweet moment before heading back to the group with a soft smile. Haime looks worried, and she reassures her nothing crazy went down. Then Granart comes in, full of restless energy. At first, she's impatient, ready to get things moving, but as they talk, her true feelings bubble up. She admits to struggling with magic and feeling unsure compared to the others, nervous about being left behind. He points out she seems more anxious than usual, and when she opens up instead of putting on a brave face, he tells her he prefers this side of her. She blushes like crazy. When he calls her attractive, she gets even more flustered and asks for a bit more attention. He gently touches her cheek and she's overwhelmed by the simple touch. Feeling embarrassed but happy, she excuses herself and quietly heads back to the group. Finally, Haime shows up. Before meeting him, Morion secretly casts a spell on her to prevent pregnancy, but allows everything else just to ease any anxiety. Haime agrees since she wants to get closer to him, but isn't ready to think about having a child yet. When she walks into his room, there's no hesitation between them. Just as they're about to get more intimate, the elder elf suddenly barges in using magic to watch them. She releases a pink mist into the room that cranks up the desire, and the effect spreads to the others too. Things spiral out of control fast. Feeling overwhelmed, he uses wind magic to push the mist away after getting some help from the ring's spirit. After everything settles down, he gathers everyone together and declares that they'll live as a family and face the Abyss King together. And that's episode 3. And things just got way more complicated. The bonds are deepening, the jealousy is simmering, and now we know power-ups aren't just about magic, they're about feelings. If you're enjoying the chaos so far, hit subscribe because episode 4 only raises the stakes. And comment below, who had the best moment this episode? A week goes by and surprisingly, no one seems too worried. Everyone is keeping busy in their own way. Haime's hanging out with Nefrettis, diving into books. Granart's training hard every day and pushing her limits. Amber's busy trying to figure out the complex spell on the sealed gate. When Morion asks how long it'll take to crack it, she casually mentions it could take 6 years. Morion is shocked. Sapphire, on the other hand, admits she's just been doing nothing. The vibe shifts when Morion points out that the Ring King's power relies on the emotional connections he has with the princesses. The stronger their bond, the stronger he gets. Sapphire quickly turns it into a competition, teasing that maybe he just doesn't dig certain body types. She compares herself to Granart and indirectly pokes at Haime, suggesting that if Haime can't step up, the others need to take charge. The tension in the room makes Morion uncomfortable. Later, he tries again to push the sealed gate open with his powers. He really puts in the effort, but the door doesn't budge. Morion pulls him aside and asks if he really gets how his power works. He explains that magic doesn't lie, and he refuses to grow stronger in a way that would hurt the girls. He wants their feelings to be genuine, not forced. She awkwardly reminisces about the kiss they shared under the magical mist. She insists it didn't mean anything, but her embarrassment tells a different story. He thanks her for helping him understand something important. He can't rush emotional growth just to gain power. Meanwhile, Haime is battling her own thoughts. She worries he might lose interest in her as he gets closer to the others. Later that night, she asks if he wants to hang out. Still focused on the gate, he says it's not the right time and leaves without realizing how much that stings her. Then Morion drops a bombshell. The protective spell she cast on Haime is only 50% complete. It's still unfinished. Haime gets furious, and they argue. Sapphire steps in and bluntly says he might be getting weaker because Haime isn't acting like a proper leader. If she can't handle everything on her own, she should lean on the others more. Haime claims she understands, but deep down, she feels rattled. At the same time, Amber detects a powerful energy source beneath the lower level of the library and suspects there's a hidden passage. While they're investigating, Granart and Nefrettis are practicing magic together. Nefrettis explains that everyone's magical flow is different, and she senses something off in Granart. Suddenly, a huge abyss spider shows up and attacks. Granart jumps in to protect Nefrettis and charges at the monster. Nefrettis manages to create a defensive barrier, but the spider regenerates its severed limb instantly. Before long, it traps them all in thick webs. Granart suddenly realizes something. When she touched him earlier, she felt magic stir inside her. With shaky honesty, she asks him to kiss her with his whole heart. He hesitates and looks at Haime, but after recalling Sapphire's words about trust, she gives silent permission. They share a genuine kiss. In that moment, fire erupts from her body. Her dormant fire magic awakens fully. She breaks free from the webs, her speed and strength skyrocketing. With powerful strikes, she takes off the spider's legs and then slices it clean in half, finishing it off by burning the remains. Once the crisis is over, everyone regroups. She shyly thanks him. Sapphire praises her, but she brushes it off like it's no big deal. Next, he finds himself standing outside a closed room, feeling a bit confused. It's totally quiet inside, even though all the ring princesses are hanging out there. He tries to listen in, but can't catch a thing. Just as he's about to overthink it, Morion pops up behind him out of nowhere, giving him a bit of a scare. She casually mentions that her sister asked her to keep an eye on him. Now he's not sure whether to feel like he's being protected or just watched closely. Inside, the girls are having a private meeting. She starts off trying to be serious, but nobody is paying attention at first since they're all too busy munching on snacks. Eventually, she raises her voice and gets everyone's attention. She admits something pretty big. She realizes she's always put herself first when it comes to him. She's known him the longest and stuck by his side for years. But now she sees she can't act like he's hers alone. The others deserve to build their own connections with him. It's tough to say, but she toughs it out. Nefrettis gently asks if she's really okay with that choice. She looks down and admits she doesn't like it at all. Still, they can't afford to be selfish anymore. If his power is tied to their connection, they need to grow closer to him together, not compete with each other. One by one, they start to share their feelings. Nefrettis says he's the one who pulls her out of her shell. She really loves him and wants to be someone he can count on. Granart opens up too, saying at first she only respected him for being the warrior who beat her. But over time that changed, and she loves him now for who he is, not just his strength. Sapphire chimes in, saying she might not be in love yet, but she sees him as the Ring King and is ready to back his cause. Amber mentions that she was literally created to serve the Ring King, so helping him out is her whole purpose. Then, she reveals her fear. She's worried he might form a stronger bond with someone else and leave her behind. Because of that fear, she tried to secure her spot by winning his trust first and slowing the others down. But now she sees that's not the right way to go. They're all in this together as his wives. The mood lightens up. They all join hands in solidarity. At that moment, their rings start to glow. Outside, his ring lights up too. It's clear their bond has strengthened. The next day, he finally breaks through the sealed gate using his magic. He can instantly feel his power surge. The Elder Elf confirms he's gotten stronger, maybe even rivaling the previous Ring King. But she warns him not to forget that his strength comes from their hearts. After that, they head towards the powerful empire of Mythical Armory, known as the strongest city around. When they arrive, they get intercepted and brought before General Sluter. Soon after, he and Alabaster meet the king. They ask for the ancient sword to take on the Abyss King, but the king turns them down. He explains that he tried to fight the Abyss King once and failed. The northern forces are struggling against monsters, and many soldiers don't believe in legends anymore. He even hints that he could just take the rings by force if he wanted. Feeling uneasy and suspicious, he leaves. It seems like the king cares more about beefing up his own army than trusting the Ring King. With no help from the Empire, she suggests a daring plan. They'll split up. He'll stick around and try to secure the ancient sword through other means, while she goes off to get a separate magical spear. It's risky. If the Abyss King finds out, he'll definitely try to interfere. Morion decides to tag along with her, along with Nephretis and Granart. Before they head out, she asks him to trust her strength. He agrees. As their flying mount takes them towards their destination, Granart shyly admits she wants to get stronger for someone she's fallen in love with. She hears everything but stays quiet. In the end, Mars also shows up. Hime, Morion, Nephretis, and Granart end up at this hidden magic temple that's all about talent. Morion explains it's a spot where most mages keep to themselves and don't get tangled up in each other's business. They soon meet the head honcho of the place, a calm but powerful mage who instantly figures out why they're there. When she walks up to Haime, she drops a huge bombshell. Haime looks just like her mom. Turns out, this woman trained Haime's mom in magic ages ago, and, even more surprisingly, she's Haime's great-aunt. Morion can't believe Haime never knew this. The aunt raves about how talented Haime's mom was and thinks Haime has that same potential. With all the pressure on Haime as a ring princess, she promises to help her tap into her hidden powers. But there's a catch. Light magic, the rare power only the Ring King and Haime can wield, cannot be taught like other magic. Some other instructors step in. One's training Granart in fire magic, another is teaching Nephretis wind techniques. But for light magic, Haime has to wake it up herself. Later, Haime recalls a tough memory of her mom leaving with a promise to return. That feeling still hurts. Her aunt suggests she train in the Dark Room, a totally dark space where Haime has to face her fears and spark her inner light. Light magic isn't just about glowing like fire or sunlight. It comes from the will to live and the desire to protect. Haime's feeling pretty overwhelmed. That night, while she's bathing, Morion playfully teases her. She shares that she's been training at this temple for 10 years, giving up a normal life. She never held any grudges against Haime for getting the ring early, although she once longed for a simpler life. Still, she believes in Haime's strength and thinks being away from Sato for a bit will make their bond even stronger. Meanwhile, Nephretis is loving the chill vibe of the place, though the training is tough. Granart is having a hard time learning to control her fire magic for combat, pushing herself to the limit. During dinner, her fire magic instructor shows up, revealing she's actually Granart's mom. She left years ago to become stronger, which Granart took the wrong way, thinking she abandoned her. Their emotional reunion helps clear things up. While everyone else makes progress, Haime feels stuck. She finds herself alone at night, frustrated that her light magic isn't responding. Thinking back on Sato's encouragement to get stronger together, she silently apologizes to him, feeling lost without him. Then a mysterious girl appears out of nowhere. She claims she gets light magic and breaks it down simply. It's the warmth of wanting to live. Everyone experiences it, but few can really recognize it. The girl gently touches Haime's cheek, and for a brief moment Haime feels a warm sensation. But when she looks up, the girl has disappeared. The next day, something shifts. In the dark room, Haime finally manages to activate her light magic. A brilliant glow bursts out, surprising even her aunt. When asked how she achieved this, Haime can only say someone helped her realize something important. While she's still puzzled about the mysterious girl, she feels thankful. Meanwhile, Sato is checking out the Empire's massive weapon factory with Mars. Unlike the Emperor, who's pretty cold, the common soldiers show him respect and trust him to take on the Abyss King. Their belief in him hits home. He realizes that even if the political bigwigs doubt him, the people have his back. Sato, Amber, Sapphire, and Mars are gearing up to sneak into the underground Imperial Vault during the festival, when most of the soldiers will be busy with celebrations. Mars points out that there are only 2 golems guarding the entrance. Amber warns that golems are super powerful, made from earth magic, but with the Ring King's power, they should be able to handle them. The big question is, who's going to distract the army? Sato casually decides that role goes to Sapphire. She's taken aback but goes along with it anyway. The next day, they find themselves at the entrance with the golems standing there, silent and still. Nothing seems to happen at first. Amber explains that the golems spring into action only if they sense danger. Sato bravely steps up, announces that he's the Ring King, and activates his magic. Just like that, the golems respond, their heavy footsteps shaking the ground and drawing attention from soldiers nearby. Just when things start to get chaotic, Sapphire, in her dragon form, swoops down from the sky, grabbing attention. But the Emperor quickly figures out it's just a distraction and heads toward the vault himself. Meanwhile, Sato is running for his life from the massive golems, and just when one is about to crush him, they suddenly freeze. Confused, he looks over at Amber, who admits she used her magic through his distraction to hold them in place temporarily. She was hoping he could take them directly, but this works too. Sato feels a bit embarrassed, but there's no time for bickering. With the key Mars swiped from his dad, they unlock the underground gate and walk into the vault. Inside, there's a collection of strange, ancient weapons, but Amber quickly realizes most of them have barely any energy. And then, out of nowhere, the Emperor shows up. Instead of attacking, he confronts them calmly, taunting them about their distraction plan. Tension fills the air as Sato boldly declares he's going to take the legendary sword, no matter what. To everyone's surprise, the Emperor agrees to give it to him. He leads them deeper into the vault and shares some truth. The Empire has spent a ton of money trying to collect legendary weapons, but most are just useless trinkets. The real deal isn't some divine ring sword, it's the sword once wielded by Haime's father. The Emperor reveals a painful backstory. He and Haime's father were good friends. When monsters sent by the Abyss King attacked, they demanded both the ring and Haime. Her dad fought bravely using light magic until he ran out of strength. When his light went out, he died, and the light magic vanished with him. The Emperor stresses that the ring won't just save anyone. To beat the Abyss King, they need to rely on their own abilities, not just faith in some prophecy. He also gives Sato a subtle warning not to trust Alabaster too easily, suggesting that the old mage might have his own agenda. Despite his harsh demeanor, the Emperor pushes Sato to get stronger through hard work, not by taking shortcuts. Touched by the Emperor's honesty, Sato asks to take Haime's father's sword, and the Emperor gives him the go-ahead. Meanwhile, Hime is still training with light magic at the temple. Morion starts to get suspicious about how fast she's improving. That night, he secretly follows her and uncovers the truth. The mysterious lady who's been guiding Haime isn't even human. She's actually an abyss monster in disguise. This creature plays with Haime's emotions, exploiting her fears of losing Sato and being replaced by the other princesses. It tempts her with the promise of dark power, claiming that if she gives in to her selfish desires, she can reshape the world and keep Sato by her side forever. Haime gets pulled into a weird illusion where she sees Sato ignoring her while chatting with the other princesses. Her heart starts to waver. The abyss monster pushes her to ditch the pure light and welcome darkness. Outside, chaos erupts at the temple as Haime's outfit changes and dark energy starts surging from her body. Morion and the temple master rush to intervene, realizing the abyss has snuck into their safe haven. Inside the crumbling temple, Haime stands torn between light and darkness. Sato arrives too late, calling out for her as chaos consumes the entire place. And now it's officially war. The illusions are breaking, Haime's heart is wavering, and the abyss is playing mind games instead of just swinging swords. If you're locked in for this final arc, make sure you subscribe. The next episodes go absolutely insane. And comment below, do you think Haime can resist the darkness, or is Sato about to lose everything? When Sato steps into the castle all by himself, he finds Haime waiting for him in a wedding dress. She's all soft-spoken, saying she's been waiting and that together they'll take down the Abyss King. But something feels a bit off. Before long, the other ring princesses pop up in the illusion, claiming they're there just to make his wishes come true. And then, standing behind them, is a darker version of Hime. That's when it hits Sato. He's caught in a crazy strong illusion. Once he snaps back to reality, the others rush over, asking what went down. Sato immediately wants to know about Haime. Morion fills him in, saying she's still stuck inside the tower. The temple master warns that the castle is loaded with mental traps, so tricky that even they couldn't get in. Alabaster suggests that separating Sato from the Ring of Light would really help the Abyss King. Sato admits that the Haime he saw was kind of weird. Morion picks up on it being strange that only Sato could see her, figuring this means Haime really wants to talk to him. Then, out of nowhere, Abyss monsters show up in huge numbers. It becomes clear that the Abyss King wants to keep the others busy. Granart confidently tells Sato to go save Haime while they deal with the monsters. Nephretis throws up a wind barrier to buy them some time, and Sapphire comforts Sato before he heads back inside. In the tower, Haime tries to lure him again, asking him to kiss her to get her power. Sato is not having it. The illusion keeps flipping between childhood memories, school days, and alternate realities where they could just chill together. Haime opens up about what she truly wants. She dreams of a world just for the two of them. Finally, it clicks for Sato. He realizes he was so busy trying to save the world that he never showed her the future they could have together. When Haime attacks him in desperation, Sato takes it. She offers him all her different versions, telling him to pick whichever he likes. Instead, Sato just hugs the real Haime and says he wants only her. No power, no fantasy, just her. As a powerful ring circle forms around them, the light from the Ring King dims. Outside, an even bigger abyss monster breaks through a new portal, overwhelming everyone. But inside that protected space, Sato promises Haime that he'll face everything with her, not run away from it. The huge abyss monster is still looming over everyone, and honestly, the squad looks like they're done for. No one has a solid plan. Amber steps up and tells everyone to fall back. She launches this crazy attack that shakes the whole battlefield. Even Nephretis almost loses her balance. Sapphire's cheering Amber on, saying that if she can pull off one or two more of those, it'll be game over for the monster. But Amber's in a tough spot. She can't use that move again for a while. Meanwhile, in the illusion space, Sato keeps reaching out to Haime. He's honest about not wanting to take another loss against the Abyss King, and more importantly, he doesn't want to lose her. He admits he messed up in understanding her feelings and got too caught up in responsibilities instead of focusing on their future together. This time, he really wants to show her that future. Haime finally opens up. She's not looking for a perfect world, she just wants to be with him. Outside, the Abyss monster is gearing up for another big attack, and suddenly, the whole castle lights up like crazy. It collapses, and out of the brightness, Sato and Haime appear together. The monster shoots a massive laser, but Sato grabs Haime's dad's sword and says they'll finish this together. Standing side by side, they launch a combined strike that slices the giant abyss monster right in half. Everyone's in shock. The flow of light magic is unreal. Even Alabaster admits he was worried for a second, but Sato not only saved Haime, he unlocked her true power. Later, the energy around them starts to ramp up again. Their bond is stronger, and the others notice the change, especially when Haime calls him by his first name. But there's no time to chill. A magical caravan rolls in from Nephretis' homeland, sent by their emperor. Their army can't deal with the abyss monsters alone. They need the Ring King. After everything the Ring Princesses have been through, they finally get to chill at a hot spring. But their relaxation is short-lived. Soon, they're off to Kaugamika, a fortress city with huge walls and serious defenses. The royal army is gearing up for a major showdown with the Abyss King's forces. On the way, Alabaster pulls Sato aside for a heart-to-heart. He warns him not to get too caught up in the ring's power or let love mess with his head. Sato looks shaken. When he glances at his ring, he notices it's even more powerful now, but that just means more responsibility. Haime walks over, asking how he's doing. They try to share a quiet moment, but nearby onlookers spoil the vibe. They sneak away by boat to a peaceful spot surrounded by nature. There, Sato, feeling a bit awkward but sincere, tells Haime he wants to stand tall as a man, not just as the Ring King. He promises they'll beat the Abyss King, get back to his world, and live happily together. He even drops a hint about a little surprise he has planned for her later that night. Meanwhile, Nephretis and Granart notice how close Sato and Haime are getting. Granart admits they look great together, but yeah, there's a hint of jealousy. She wishes Sato would look at her like that. Nephretis nods in agreement. Elsewhere, Granart trains with Amber, showing off how much stronger she's become. Out of nowhere, her parents show up, determined to fight in the upcoming war as well. It gets emotional. They want to prove their strength before the battle, showing that this war really impacts entire families, not just the heroes. Things take another turn when they reach Sapphire's home turf. Sapphire drags Sato to meet her dad, who welcomes them with open arms but teases her for making him look childish. At the same time, Mars and his pregnant wife Sophia arrive with some big news. Later, Sato and Mars have a serious chat. Sato suggests Mars should stay behind for Sophia's sake, but Mars is adamant. He wants to fight to make the world safer for his kid. Sapphire throws a challenge at Sato too. Would he actually leave Haime behind in the final battle? Sato isn't sure how to respond. The next morning, the army moves forward toward a tricky labyrinth tunnel that Alabaster suggested. Amber takes charge, insisting her memory is spot on. But as they go deeper, something feels off. They stumble upon ancient ruins, once the homeland of the dwarves. Amber reveals the sad truth. The Abyss King cursed her people. Most of them fell into despair and were wiped out. She was created as their last hope, meant to help unlock the Ring King's full power. Inside, a mysterious statue, revealed to be the last dwarf princess, confirms it. Amber carries the finals wishes of the dwarves. She's not just a warrior, she's their legacy. Given a mysterious key and a final blessing, the group takes an ancient elevator up to the battlefield ruins, where the last major battle went down. The squad finally slows down after marching non-stop. Sapphire looks completely wiped out. They all know they need some solid rest since the next day they're heading straight into the Abyss King's territory. Alabaster tells everyone to recover well, especially Sato. He bluntly reminds him to work on his bond with the ring princesses. Haime looks shocked for a sec, but then gets a little excited about it. That night gets emotional. Sato thanks all the princesses for sticking by him. He admits that, unlike the last Ring King, he can't fight solo, and doesn't want to. He really needs them, not just for their powers, but also for their hearts. Nephretis speaks up first. She says that if Sato hadn't come along, she would have stayed trapped in her kingdom, way too shy to face the world. He helped her get stronger. Then she kisses him and asks to be by his side in the future. Granart jumps in next. She admits that becoming his wife felt weird at first, but now she can't picture leaving him. Her kiss? Let's just say it's got some serious passion. Sapphire keeps it simple. She tells Sato to focus on his duty and promises to stand by him no matter what. A gentle kiss on the cheek is arguably the sweetest moment. Then Amber steps up. She reminds him she was created to unlock the Ring King's full power and carries the will of the dwarves. She boldly states that after they take down the Abyss King, she wants a future with him, including a kid. Sato freezes for a moment. Haime watches all this and surprisingly feels no jealousy. Instead, she feels something warm inside. When it's finally just her and Sato, they share a quiet, intimate moment. The next day, they enter the Abyss King's territory, where darkness swallows everything until Haime lights the way with her light magic. They come across a creepy, corrupted castle. Abyss monsters flood the battlefield, but Sato and the princesses slice through them like butter. Nephretis' wind magic, Granart's strength, and Amber's giant mech-like construct take out enemies left and right. Finally, they reach the throne room, and there's the Abyss King waiting for them. With a quick spell, he separates the princesses and summons Abyss Knights, twisted clones of the past Ring princesses. Each girl ends up facing a warped version of herself. Meanwhile, Sato charges right at the Abyss King. His strongest attack hits, and does nothing. The Abyss King casually counters with a strike that leaves Sato badly hurt. Still, he manages to stand tall. The battles are still raging on. Each Ring princess is up against a twisted version of a former queen, and they're all going all out. Granart is struggling at first against the first princess, who mocks her for not having any special talent, and even cuts her cheek with some weird sword move. But Granart isn't one to take the easy way out. She insists she'll get stronger through her own hard work, not by relying on any shortcuts. Suddenly, a fierce energy surrounds her, and she delivers a powerful blow that finally takes her opponent down. Nephretis faces a different temptation. Her opponent tries to lure her in with limitless knowledge from the Abyss King, but she calmly responds that without Sato, knowledge is pointless. It's the journey, the growth, and the connections that have made her wise. When she unleashes her full wind magic, her opponent is left in awe. Sapphire stands her ground too. She's told she shouldn't waste her noble blood on a mere human. She quickly shuts that down. This is about her duty and her choice. Transforming into her dragon form, she takes out her opponent without a second thought. Amber's fight is straightforward and brutal. When her clone suggests that she bow to the Abyss King to restore the dwarf lineage, she flat out rejects it. That kind of path isn't about survival, it's just giving in. One massive punch is all it takes to end her fight. Meanwhile, Sato is locked in battle with the Abyss King. The villain calls forth the power of the rings and attacks him. Sato barely dodges the blows, desperately searching for an opening. His sword and fire magic aren't doing the trick. Just as a deadly strike is about to hit, Mars steps in, buying him a crucial second. That moment is all he needs. Sato lands a clean slash, and a dark shadow spills out of the Abyss King's body. Then the shocking truth comes out. The Abyss King is actually the first Ring King, twisted, consumed, and sealed away long ago. He taunts Sato, saying he could defeat him, but warns that love always leads to betrayal. Doubt is the real abyss. Suddenly, Sato gets pulled into a void of darkness. Shadows start whispering to him, forcing him to choose one princess over the others. If he picks one, he risks alienating the rest. Outside, the princesses won't back down. Armies from every kingdom are showing up. Granart, Nephritis, Sapphire, and Amber jump back into the fray, putting their faith in Sato. In the void, surrounded by doubt and darkness, Sato is hit with the big question: what does it really mean to choose? In the end, he's consumed by the abyss. The first princess insists that once someone gets erased by the Abyss King, there's no coming back. But Haime won't accept that. She feels the power of the rings and consents Sato. If she can sense him, she believes she can reach him. And if she can reach him, she can bring him back. The first princess warns her against going. She already lost someone she loved a long time ago. A flashback shows her painful past. The original Ring King was dumped by the Abyss King after being called useless. Even then, she promised to love him forever and wait until her last breath. But he never came back. That heartache still sticks with her, hidden behind a mask, until it finally cracks and reveals the tears she's kept inside for centuries. But Haime isn't turning back. Channeling the combined strength of all the ring princesses, she opens a path into the darkness. Inside that void, Sato sees a dim light and feels a hand reaching out. When he grabs it, he realizes it's Haime. She pulls him back, and they share a desperate, emotional kiss as she finally saves him. The Abyss King is taken aback. No one has ever escaped that place before. Haime boldly declares she's there to take him down. He hits her with an overwhelming attack, but she creates a powerful shield to protect everyone. She fires back with a massive blast of light magic. The Abyss King retaliates, almost landing a fatal hit, until Sato jumps in to save her at the last second. Now fighting together, Haime and Sato combine their powers. A brilliant sword forms between them, fueled not just by their magic but by their feelings. Their final attack overwhelms the Abyss King. Accepting defeat, he fades away. In a quiet, afterlife-like space, he meets the Light Princess, the first princess, who kept her promise to stay by his side. This time, he decides to walk with her. The dark circle in the sky shatters, and all abyss monsters vanish. But the celebrations don't last long. The ring suddenly speaks up. The enemy they just fought was just a Ring King controlled by the Abyss. The real Abyss King is still out there. The sky gets darker, the earth cracks, and a new black vortex forms. Sato is totally exhausted, barely able to stand, but still, he trusts everyone to pull through. With Mars and the others backing him up, all the allies gather their magic into one huge spell and launch it into the vortex. The true Abyss presence is finally destroyed. This time, the ring confirms it. It's really over. Back in the human world, Sato and the princesses finally share a happy ending. After everything, they're finally home. And that's the end of the arc, but the story is far from over. The Abyss King is gone. The sky is clear, the kingdoms are finally at peace. But we now know the terrifying truth. The enemy they defeated wasn't even the true source of the Abyss. It was just another Ring King who fell, which means the cycle can repeat. Sato didn't just win because he was strong. He won because he refused to choose between the girls. He chose all of them. Trust, unity, real bonds, not control. That's what broke the curse. But the ring still speaks, the power still grows, and love in this world has already proven it can turn into obsession. So the real question is, will Sato stay himself, or will history repeat? If you enjoyed this full breakdown, make sure you subscribe. We're covering what happens next, the deeper lore, and where Season 3 could go. Drop a comment below. Who was MVP of the final battle? And did the ending satisfy you? I'll see you in the next recap.